What's up? My name is Esther Chong, and I'm a freshman at Western Washington University, exploring the idea of starting over, independently moving somewhere unfamiliar and far away, and finally finding a place to settle and call home for the next few years. Moving is a time to experience a lot of firsts. It's the first time you're on your own experiencing the quote-unquote real world. It might be the first time you've really experienced being alone. I don't mean alone in the sense of physically not having another person present. You could be standing on a bus squished with a lot of people and still feel that arduous pain. The questions, where am I? What am I doing? Who are these people and where can I go? All agonizing questions you feel when being alone. In my experience, I didn't quite fit in with the people I associated with when I first moved here. I caught myself distancing away emotionally and physically. I realize now that this is a very common feeling for people who were placed in an unfamiliar setting. When I felt alone, I found a place that reminded me why I chose to live here, and it made moving a lot easier. I found the Overlook. It's so easy to look over the water and watch the ships enter and exit. How perfectly the sky is painted over the bay while the sun sets. I love how the water reflects the bright light so hazily at night. It's a different experience every time I visit. For me, I feel at home when I'm at the Overlook. It was easy for myself to identify a location that makes me feel at home. However, it may not be the same for those who have traveled a lot farther or a lot closer than I have. Today, I'll be interviewing Tatiana Dixon. Prior to moving off to college, she lived in Florida, the opposite end of the country. And I'll also be interviewing Lucas Hall, who actually moved from Bellingham to Bellingham, a lot closer than I, who moved from Mount Vernon, Washington, just about 45 minutes down south. So, what did you struggle with the most when moving to Western, Tatiana? You're so far from Washington, so it must have been a little difficult.
I think the hardest thing for me is actually leaving. I mean, I always end up crying at the airport, and I think once I'm actually gone and I'm on my way, it gets easier. But yeah, definitely leaving is the hardest part.
So when you left, what did you think about when you're leaving? Like what part of leaving was hard?
I don't know if am I allowed to curse?
Yeah, go ahead.
I was just kind of like, holy shit, I'm doing it. Like, I'm going across the country because I lived in Florida my whole life. So I think just going anywhere else was already impossible seeming enough. I don't know.
Was it a lot easier for you once you arrived here to transition, or was transitioning hard for you when you got here?
I think, transitioning was definitely the hardest part because once I got to Bellingham, I was more excited about everything that was going to be happening than I was missing home just because it was also new and novel.
All right, and Luke, you're from Bellingham, and so probably going to Western, although it may seem that it's easier, what did you struggle with when you moved here?
I struggled with getting to know people that I never knew before. Lots of my friends moved away to other colleges like Wazoo, UW, so it's hard to get to know new people when you've been around the same place, and it's like you expect to see people that you've known your whole life because you're in a college town, right? So if you go there, you're expecting to see a lot of friends there, but you don't actually.
So, do you feel as though moving here was the right choice, and was there ever a time you doubted your decision?
Overall, I do think that going to Western was the right choice. I was getting away from a lot of toxic people in my life, but there are a lot of times where I do feel homesick, so yeah, I don't think I regret it completely, but there are definitely times where I long to go home.
During those times you wanted to go home, can you say a specific moment? If it's a little personal, you don't have to, but if there's a specific moment when you really felt like you wanted to go back, could you give an example?
Especially after dealing with hardships in class, I really miss more people in my life than I miss actually being home in Florida. Yeah, so it's usually when loneliness strikes that I'm really homesick.
Yeah, since I'm from Mount Vernon, it was a little easier for me if I felt homesick because I could just run away and go home for the weekend. But that's probably not as easy for you to do. So how do you cope with that? Or do you have like family or friends that you talk to back home?
I actually found it, I mean, with the technology we have nowadays, it's been a lot easier. I Skype my best friend a lot. I mean, a lot, maybe like once a week or so. My parents definitely FaceTime me a lot, maybe a little bit more than I would like them to, but yeah, so I'm still connected with like faces and voices from home, just it's still a little bit different than being face to face.
Yeah, definitely. And Luke, since you're from Bellingham, do you feel as though moving here was the right choice? And was there ever a time you doubted living so close to home?
Once I realized that lots of my friends were going to Seattle or Spokane or even Ellensburg, it was like, maybe I should go too. It's like, everyone's leaving, and like, they don't want to stay close to their parents, but I'm a homebody, so, you know.
Yeah, definitely. Is it, since you're so close to home, do you visit often, or how often do you go back home to your house?
I mean, I go for free food. It's like, I mean, it's like, I get free food here, but like, if you want steak, you gotta go home.
Yeah, definitely. you can't really get steak in
No.
a dining hall.
No, it's, yeah.
Awesome. For me, the Overlook is nostalgic. I feel as though I belong when I stop during my busy day to admire the view. I'm reminded of a time when things were more simple and innocent, and it is a place of many things. A place to relax and de-stress the most. When I look at the water, I remember why I came here. It's hard to balance out your fast-paced life and find time for yourself. Whether it be in your own dorm room or the ARB, like Tatiana and Luke, pace yourself and slow down. Relax at the location you once found beautiful, or you found relaxing. When you feel unfamiliar or alone, find the place that really captivated you and made you feel at home. You should be proud of yourself for adapting to a new environment and moving to a new home. It takes time, but your new life will soon become your life.